If you want to know what they never tell you when it comes to dropshipping, here are the pro tips that I want to share with you today. Number one, fake gurus abound. In other words, you have a lot of fake gurus in dropshipping. They're telling you can make millions overnight. Some of them are on YouTube. They show you their so-called screenshots where they tell you that you can make millions overnight. Don't believe none of that, okay? It's very important when we talk about dropshipping to understand this is a long-term thing. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not going to become millionaire overnight. Those fake gurus that are actually selling you courses, they are just there to sell you courses. When they show you their so-called dropshipping screenshots showing you 6-digit or 7-digit revenue, they're just trying to make more money off of you. You know why? Because if their dropshipping business model is so profitable, why do they need to actually sell courses? If you really believe that something works for you, just stick to it. Why do you need to sell courses? The thing is, they make more money selling courses than actually doing some dropshipping. So the whole thing about get rich quick, or they are actually showing you a course with a very ugly landing page, a very long landing page, okay? They're not transparent on how they make money. Those are clear signs of a fake guru, okay? Do not fall for that. And sometimes those fake gurus, they don't sell a product. If they don't sell a product, you know why? You are the product. They're talking to you about how to have a successful Amazon FBA dropshipping business, or how to have a Shopify FBA dropshipping business, but they themselves have never operated an Amazon FBA dropshipping business or a Shopify dropshipping business or Wix or whatnot. It's really important to understand, and this, they never tell you this. Do not fall for this. There are a lot of dropshipping, so-called dropshipping fake gurus that are out there just trying to make money off of you. So this is something they never tell you about dropshipping that you really need to pay attention to. Do not fall for that. One thing that's very important here is that when we talk about finding, you can read books, you can do your own research. It's always important to do your research. You can watch shows like this one. I mean, we're not trying to publicize our own shows, but we're not selling you anything. We don't have affiliate marketing. We just provide free and objective information on this show. So it's better to actually look for those sort of unbiased opinions to let you know how you can actually educate yourself better when it comes to dropshipping. So number one, fake gurus abound. Number two, Shopify may not be the best platform for you. By the way, welcome back to the channel. Really appreciate having you. It's just wonderful. We're having today's conversation. We are talking about dropshipping, what they don't tell you. So the thing is, when everybody talks about dropshipping, people automatically think about Shopify. But Shopify is basically one platform. You have other platforms. As a matter of fact, when we talk about dropshipping, you have two categories, two outlets. The way we analyze dropshipping, we think about two major outlets. You have the marketplaces. Here I'm speaking about Amazon. I'm talking about Walmart. I'm talking about Etsy. I have Bonanza and so on and so forth. We have Facebook Marketplace. So those are the online marketplaces. And then you have the platforms. You have the Shopify. You have the Squarespace. You have the Ship4Shop, BigCommerce, Wix, WooCommerce, Sellfy, Ecwid. So those are actually platforms that allow you to have a Shopify, to have a dropshipping store. So it's really important to have a clear idea, to understand that Shopify is not the only outlet whereby you can actually develop a successful dropshipping business. Very important. So when we talk about choosing the best Shopify alternative, you got to think about pricing and fees. You have to think about hosting. Okay, and the thing that's really important here is that when we speak about hosting, you have to think about some what your considerations are. Are you thinking about just having one product? Are you thinking about having multiple products? So everything is linked to your needs, and it's important to have what we call a holistic approach to your dropshipping business. In other words, you're not just thinking about one thing. Like a lot of folks believe that dropshipping, I'm going to start my research with the products. No. Boss, you want to have a holistic research where you're thinking about, okay, if I'm buying this product, where do I get the product? What about the supplier? What about the platform I'm going to sell on? So think about themes and design options when choosing the best Shopify alternative. Think about ease of use. Think about security. Here, we're not talking about marketplaces. We're talking about the platforms, the Equate of the world, the WooCommerce of the world, the BigCommerce of the world, the Squarespace of the world. Think about ease of use. Think about security. Think about payment processing options. Think about SEO features. Think about customer support. So this constellation of factors will help you choose the best Shopify alternative for your dropshipping business. The third thing they don't tell you is that you will struggle to find reliable suppliers. By the way, I just want to quickly remind you, today's topic, we're speaking about dropshipping, what they don't tell you. So the thing here is that, people believe that when you get into dropshipping, you just have to go to Alibaba and you have a lot of suppliers who are just waiting for your business. It doesn't happen that way, boss. It does not happen that way. You will struggle, and you have to tell yourself that I will struggle to find reliable suppliers at least at the beginning. Okay. Now, dropshipping is a much easier way to start a business. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't mean that it is actually downright simple. Okay. Choosing a good supplier can make or break you. And if you think about it, paying the supplier to ship your inventory is almost like outsourcing. So besides having to pay for the products, they must perform the duties of your shopping logistics department. And if they're not able to get your products to your destination in a safe and sound way, your business will fail. 100%. Don't even sweat it. Your business will fail. So you must review their rating, the supplier's rating, and communicate with them. Okay. So it's really important to understand, again, going back to what I said earlier, it is a marathon. It is not an overnight sprint. It won't happen. It will not happen overnight. If any fake guru tells you otherwise, do not listen. Do not actually pay attention to them. Okay. If you find, for example, that the suppliers that you are dealing with are not communicative or they're just not good, find someone else. It's not a bad idea to think of your supplier as your partner. This is very important. Okay. So when we talk about finding good, reliable suppliers, there is a formula that you need to follow. There is some kind of logical steps. Research the dropshipping suppliers out there. We have gazillions of videos about the subject. If you need more help, just let us know. We'll send you the links. You want to ask questions about the service. Very important to know the quality of the service, the quality and consistency of the service. You want to inquire about the supplier's technology, what kind of apps, what kind of software they use. Okay. You want to order samples from the supplier because you need to actually have a clear idea, a realistic idea of what the product looks like. Buy from your competitors' suppliers to see what's out there also. And you want to dig into the supplier's business, have a better idea of what kind of business they have, their legal structure, where they're located, and if there had been some issues with them in the past. This is part of what we call the due diligence part when it comes to your dropshipping business. The fourth thing that nobody ever tells you when you start a dropshipping business is that your success rate is only 10% the first year. Let me repeat that. Your success rate is only 10% the first year. See, the whole thing here is that people believe, I'm just going to start my my dropshipping business, whether on Shopify, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and whatnot, and I'm just going to have overnight success because a so-called dropshipping guru had told me so. It never happens that way. Never. As a matter of fact, you have about 90% of Shopify stores that actually fail in the first year. Okay, and we have researched the topic. We have been doing this for 5 years now, and it's really important to understand that and it's not just Shopify or Wix or WooCommerce or BigCommerce it's not just about having a high failure rate for a dropshipping business. No. It is no secret that a large number of businesses fail within the first year, either dropshipping or outside of dropshipping. In fact, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, about 30% of small businesses fail within the first 2 years of operation. Okay, so the whole thing here is what? You have to understand the odds are against you, which means I'm not saying you have to actually just throw in the towel and just go home and not doing anything and sit there lethargically and not doing anything. What I'm trying to say here is that you have to know which odds you are up against. So you have to actually have a clear idea of the competition, quote unquote, the odds they're really in front of you. And so you have to do hard work. You have to work twice as much, 3 times as much, 4 times as much, 5 times as much to make sure that you put everything in place to avoid failure. So your success rate is only 10% the first year. Don't let anybody dazzle you, actually giving you stats about, yeah, you have 90% success rate, you're going to make millions, you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. No. The number of Shopify stores that are profitable varies greatly, whether they're doing drop shipping or not. The number of Amazon FBA stores and the number of eBay stores doing drop shipping, that number varies significantly. But one thing for sure, there are stores that fail, and the majority of stores fail or either fail or break even. I'm just telling you this because I want you to really work harder and set your expectations realistically. Another thing they never tell you is that dropshipping overnight success does not exist. By the way, I just want to quickly remind you, today's topic, we are speaking about dropshipping, what they don't tell you. And so point number 5 is that dropshipping overnight success does not exist. And this is important to really have that in mind. Okay. And so you are bound to fail if you don't have patience. So remember, building expertise and finding success is an ongoing process. There is no such thing as finding long-term success overnight. While you may get lucky and find a product that works in the short run, it won't last if you don't learn the skills necessary to maintain it properly. The only way to find true success is to slowly test and optimize. Okay, very important. And when we talk about dropshipping success, we also talk about making sure that you have the proper budget to sustain your initiatives. It's very important. And people believe, after watching one YouTube or 3 YouTube videos or 10 YouTube videos about dropshipping that they are going to make money overnight, and they don't have the proper research for the kind of products they want to buy. They don't have not proper research, proper budget. They don't have a proper budget for the kind of a product they want to buy. They don't have a proper budget for the kind of a niche they want to go after. They don't have a budget for things like ads, PPC ads, and whatnot. So the thing here is that, listen, no matter what a guru tells you, you have to understand you're not going to be successful overnight. Unless if you are, you're like 1% or 0.1%. Think about your odds of actually playing in the NBA. I don't care how successful you are or how biologically gifted you are, you're tall, whatever, but think about your odds of just playing in the NBA. So it's kind of similar to dropshipping. What I'm trying to say here is that you are going to have to do a lot of work, okay? But it is totally possible, but it's not going to happen overnight. And the thing is that you are bound to fail if you don't know your numbers. Know your numbers, okay? Numbers will tell you a story. It's a story of how your business is performing. Okay, by knowing your numbers, you can learn where in your business you have to focus on and where to improve. And by determining where in the process, there is room for improvement, you can optimize and improve your margins. Also, don't try to compete on price alone. Okay, the most common beginner's mistake in dropshipping is competing based solely on price. If the only thing that differentiates you from the competition is price, you are going to lose all of your business and all your profits the moment someone else undercuts you and you find yourself on the losing end of a price war. Don't do that. Another thing they never tell you is that only 10 to 15% of your products will be profitable. This is so important. Okay, and basically in business, we have something called the Pareto principle, whereby you have 20% of your products that contribute to 80% to your revenue. This is kind of similar here. And so only 10 to 15% of your products will be profitable. What does that mean for you right now? It means that you want to cash in on seasonal merchandise. You want to focus on niche merchandise. You want to sell what you know. In other words, you want to have a constellation of tips and strategies that allow you to constantly shift your products to see what works and what doesn't, because you never know which one will work. Okay, so because of that, you have to engage in a series of trials and errors and see at the end what really works. So when I'm speaking about seasonal merchandise, is, for example, listen, seasonal merchandise, as you probably know, can be a serious cash cow for online retailers who dropship, because typical retailers don't usually carry enough of it for fear of overstocking. Okay, so if we are in the holiday season, for example, and you know that people love baby toys or children toys or whatever, you want to actually zero in on that particular product during that season. Okay, Christmas or whatever the festivities are where you are at, it's really important to really cash in on that seasonal merchandise. Also try to, it's important to focus on a niche merchandise. See, the whole thing is that dropshipping is so competitive. Don't you try to quote unquote corner the whole market. You're going to lose time, you're going to lose your shirt, you're going to lose money, and it's just a waste of your time and everything else and resources. So it's just a lot easier to go granular, to go really you want to go gung-ho on a specific merchandise, on a specific niche, and you want to always put all your cash into that, and you want to work that niche out as much as possible to derive the maximum profit you can. Very important. And it's important to also have familiarity, to acquaint yourself or to know very well the product you're selling. Don't try to sell sneakers if you have no idea what sneakers are. Or you have no interest in sneakers simply because you want to sell sneakers because you think there is a business opportunity. There is a profit opportunity. Yeah, well, you might make money in the short run, but if you don't like that, if you don't like sneakers at all, you're not going to last in this industry for a long time. Another thing that nobody ever tells you is that online shoppers' habits are never predictable. The funny thing is people talk about customer loyalty. I've had, customer retention, client retention, and I've had the same clients for years and blah, 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 blah. One thing you need to understand is that when it comes to dropshipping, what they don't tell you is that online shoppers, they change their habits all the time. People change. People are not bound by any rules or anything. No. They change all the time. So don't sell the same thing as everyone else. You need to shift your product portfolio. You need to shift your product mix. The pipeline that you have must be, you need to always update that. Okay. So the fastest way to sell, to actually fail, not sell, to fail in online retailing is to try and sell the same hot products as everyone else, like consumer electronics or name brand clothing. Okay, when a large number of businesses and sellers try to sell the same products, competition drives prices down, often to the point where the only businesses making a profit are those who receive steep discounts for buying in enormous quantities, like big box retailers. Okay, and so don't do that. And please make sure that you know the platform on which you are selling. Whether you use Shopify, WooCommerce, Amazon, or anything else, you need to know how to effectively use the platform. So not being able to get started because there is a hitch or because you get stuck on a technical issue is something that should be kept to a minimum. Okay, and you should neither get bogged down or run into bottlenecks because you don't know how your store works or how to change things on it. What I'm trying to say here is I want you to increase your familiarity with the kind of platform you're on. Very important. And know the risk. If you know the risks that actually are inherent to dropshipping overall. See, the thing is, if you understand that online shoppers' habits are never predictable, you are going to pay more attention to the risks, okay? While dropshipping greatly lowers your risk of starting a business, it still has some risks. If you were to start a retail store, you would have to pay for the racks, displays, hangers, tills, employees, rent, and whatnot. Even though you would benefit from foot traffic coming from a physical store, the initial cost of all of these things would be difficult to overcome. However, starting a dropshipping store still has its risk. It's important that you know them. So, for example, the supplier. The supplier's reputation is very important. The shipping process, how long it will take, the communication with the customer, those things are critical. And the last thing in our view that nobody ever tells you is that you must be better than better to survive. What I'm trying to say here is you got to be above better if you want to survive. Just being better is not really good enough. It's like being average or a little more than average is not enough. You have to be really, really stellar. So when we talk about being stellar, being excellent, there are a couple of things you need to do, okay? You got to provide superior customer service. That's number one. I don't care how good your product is. If you do not provide stellar customer service, you're not going to last in this industry. This is something that you really need to understand. And also, in terms of your product offer, please offer product bundles. Okay, a fundamental merchandising strategy is bundling related products together and offering them as a package deal. This is especially great for dropship retailers because bundling can significantly reduce shipping costs if all the products are coming from the same warehouse, and that provides you with a huge price advantage over the competition. And also try to do some experimentation with shipping rates, okay? Because nowadays the customers are really sort of sensitive about shipping rates, and that's why a lot of drop shippers, they just want to have free shipping, and what they do is they actually put the margin of their margin back onto the sales price. That way the customer sees a free shipping, but they don't know they've already paid for the shipping through the sales price. So it's something you can play around it and see what really works for you. And when we talk about also being better than better when it comes to drop shipping, you have to constantly work on your product descriptions, okay? And especially the keywords that make up that product descriptions. It's important to understand that when we talk about product descriptions, we're not speaking about just sitting down and just write some kind of research-based paper, academic-based paper about your products, about your dropshipping products. No, we're speaking about business language here. We're speaking about writing a compelling article or compelling description that actually compels, yes, excuse the tautology here, that actually incentivizes the shopper to buy. Okay, and it's really important. So everything starts from the keyword. Make sure that those keywords that you are trying to rank for are part of the description, are part of the product title, they are part of the anything else that really revolves around your store must be keyword driven. Again, I'm not speaking about just stuffing keywords here. I'm speaking about just inserting keywords you want to insert those keywords in a very natural, consistent way. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about dropshipping, what they don't tell you. Number 1, fake gurus abound. Number 2, Shopify may not be the best platform for you. Number 3, you will struggle to find reliable suppliers. Number 4, your success rate is only 10% the first year. Number 5, dropshipping overnight success does not exist. Number 6, only 10 to 15% of your products will be profitable. Number 7, online shoppers' habits are never predictable. Number 8, you must be better than better to survive. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.